Good afternoon, America. My name is Dr. T, and I'm back at it again with another electrifying interview. Today, as you probably already know, I have my own business, She Nice Collection, DBA Vision to Venture, where I assist entrepreneurs as well as veterans and aspiring entrepreneurs tell their authentic story that's
It's
authentic.
12 o'clock.
Oh, okay. That's authentic to them by helping them with cohesive branding as well as marketing strategies. And as you probably already know, every Thursday, or we shoot for every Thursday, I like to bring in grassroots entrepreneurs that's local in their community that's really doing their thing. I like to bring their knowledge as well as their expertise onto the platform so that you guys can see and learn for yourself. So, without any further ado, you probably could tell by the title. Today, we will be discussing breaking barriers and building wealth, a journey through financial literacy. And in this interview, we'll be talking to an entrepreneur and a financial literacy sort of mentor. He shares his inspiring journey from military service to becoming a passionate advocate for financial empowerment in the Black community. Through candid reflections on his own personal challenges and professional achievements, Jamal provides valuable insights into building generational wealth and navigating adversity. He also leverages innovative technologies like blockchain and cryptocurrency, and he has a focus on practical strategies for financial freedom and long term success. So, a little bit about our guest star. He is a U.S. Air Force active duty young man. He has been in for almost 19 years, I believe. He is currently the crew chief in Jamal. He has held key leadership roles and contributed to the readiness of multi-million dollar aircrafts. He post well, he's still working on this right now, but he's currently in entrepreneurship as well. He's the founder of Prime Foresight Solutions, and he's committed to empowering Black Americans through financial literacy and blockchain technology. He also leads Long Money Learning mentoring services. Without any further ado, I would like to introduce you guys our guest star, Jamaal Lewis.
Oh, it's like I'm playing. That was fantastic. Thank you so much. I need to
No
slide
problem.
you. I need to slide you a couple cryptocurrencies in your wallet right now. With that,
Okay, okay.
that was
Yes.
fantastic.
So we are gonna. Did I miss anything?
You did more than enough. Thank you so much. I might have to write it down and use
Okay.
that next time for sure.
Okay. Well, without any further ado, I do have like a little icebreaker segment so the audience can know you a little better. And so we have a blast for the from the past question, and it is what was your childhood like, and where did you grow up?
Okay, you about to break a brother down on the internet right now?
Oh
What was
my
my
goodness.
childhood like? No, I'm
Yeah.
playing with you. I'm playing with you. Uh, my childhood was interesting and unique at the same time. Let me see. I come from uh, multi locations. I'll say that I was born in Baltimore, Maryland, and my dad was in the Air Force before I was born, I think, and then moved to Colorado Springs. I want to say I think my first airplane flight was when I was like 4 or 5 years old, flying from Baltimore to Colorado and living with my dad. Then uh, the typical situation where parents had to go their separate ways. And I moved back and forth between them several times. Like I went to like maybe 8 or 9, 10 schools before 8th grade, something like that. And then was able to spend a little bit of time in Colorado before surprisingly moving to Virginia, back to the DMV area, and spent my formative years in Virginia, Woodbridge, Manassas, Dale City area. They'll stand up if they know what it is. Respect to them. But spent a lot of my child or my becoming a man years in Virginia, a little bit of college there, and then had a young man. My wife and I got pregnant, and it was time for me to pick up a trade. I couldn't just be playing college ball and playing around. It was time to get some money. So did a couple of jobs and it was cool. I was like the youngest person working in those places and felt like I needed a trade because I started reading books at work and all of that. Like, not that there's anything wrong with that. It was just like so, I felt like I had such potential and it was untapped that I just was trying to do something and decided to get a trade. Was impatient. I'll say that was impatient. Initially, I was going to be working doing space systems operation in the Air Force, space systems operations, uh, and I was in a refrigerated milk packaging factory. I'll say that. No names necessary, but um, it became so easy to press that snooze button when you know you're about to be working with satellites. You're going from refrigerated non-dairy milk to you about to be working with satellites. It's a little easier not to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So press snooze a few more times than I needed to, and they had to respectfully go a different direction. So because of that, I had to pick it up quick and get another job. So there was that. Joined the Air Force, doing crew chiefing, whatever that was at the time. I'm like, I don't even know what it is. I just need a job. And a little over 19 years, or almost 19 years later, I'm lucky enough to speak to you. Hopefully that was a long story, long and short.
Yes, and thank you for that.
I appreciate
So,
that.
a little bit about what kind of inspired you to be in the military, but also want to get into entrepreneurship.
Okay. Thank you for that. I will say that the what got me to want to join the military was uh, last resort. Is what that was like. But no disrespect to the military at all, or the Air Force, the best force, or whatever the case is. Um, this was never one of my intentions. Like I was always entrepreneurial minded from little kids going around selling chocolate bars. Can you help us pay for our jerseys? All kind of stuff like that, to selling candy at school, to washing cars, all kind of things. Then podcast or not, it was satellite radio was a thing back then, and wanted to do that. Wanted it. My goal was to set up my own satellite radio station. Things didn't work out that way, and life happened. But having a son and then having another son on the way or my wife was pregnant again on the way, and then I needed to do something. So it was like, let's pick up a trade. Let's join the military. It is what it is. The few mentors that I had, maybe indirect mentors, some friends' parents, and church mentors, they were in the Air Force. And if nothing else, materialistically, I liked the things that they had. Not thinking that, oh, you got to start from the beginning when you join. It was just like, oh, they balled and they got nice houses, nice cars. Yeah, I'm trying to do that. Little did I know, you gotta start from the ground up, out the mud. Had to be 10 toes in the pavement. But I worked my way up slowly but surely. Uh, I have extremely high expectations of myself and did not meet those expectations, but I know the game's not over yet. So um, this is just another stepping stone.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you.
How has your experience in the Air Force kind of shaped your approach to leadership and possibly business?
Uh, well, they say that the Air Force is the corporate branch of the military for sure. So like we have thousands of books that establish what rules are. We got books for books about rules, and the rules got rules. But just so many systems and standard operating procedures or SOPs that have been put in place for success, whether you are doing the work or you're training your replacement. Those of us that know, you got to train your replacement. So just finding ways to systemize things. And um, because of the fact that we have these annual reports, like our annual report card, like if you get into a place, you want to make it better than it was when you got there. So that plus healthy or unhealthy competition amongst your peers, you want to do things to stand out and be the best. Um, so I just try to do that. And things that helped me with leadership was, uh, I believe we were talking earlier, and I was telling you, like, we both know that us in the military, we're less than 1% of the population. And then people that look like us are an even smaller portion of that percentage. Then when you break us down throughout the branches of the military, those percentages, those numbers get smaller. So uh, culturally speaking, I'll say that myself, I didn't fond well, or I didn't do a good job asking people for help that much. So it was a lot of me trying to figure it out myself. However, when someone did take the time to provide mentorship to me, that attitude, that energy, those lessons resonated tremendously. So uh, I would get as much as I could by myself and do it as best I could by myself. But when I did receive assistance or somebody giving me game or whatever the case is, I would take that and run with it. And then not only that, I would try to impart that on somebody else. So it's like I'll either see how other people are leading or mentoring and never do it like that ever a day of my life. Like, I do not like the way he's doing that. Or, man, that was dope. I never heard nothing like that before. I'm definitely using that one. And just try and give game to my other people, like my other airmen. And I just found ways doing that. And I know I'm over here rambling, but for whatever reason, people found it comfortable telling me their personal business. So it just put me in a situation to want to tell them more things and try and give them game. So that's what I've done. I don't know if we froze or not, but it seemed like you're doing the mannequin challenge on me, or uh, I'm gonna just be quiet. But it looks like we're having technical difficulties. So either way, I do appreciate the conversation, and I'll keep it going. Let's see. I have some questions for you. Just checking to see if we're still on or not. But if we're not, then that's cool. Uh, I'm gonna just keep it going. Maybe I can slide a comment
Now,
there.
can you hear me
Okay,
now?
I see you. Yes, I wasn't
Okay.
sure. He check. It was like, okay, let's see how he can react under pressure right now.
You scared me because our minds are moving. So it's
Okay,
like,
wow, that thing was froze. I'm like, okay.
oh
And I
Lord,
thought you did like
okay.
some AI stuff, like she through the AI
You
cover
can't
and
be
went to go.
right though.
You went grocery shopping on me real quick. What,
No.
hello, is anybody here?
Yes. Okay. So my second question to you is what kind of you're in the financial literacy blockchain technology realm. How did you get into that? Like what inspired that?
Man, uh, let me see. I'll say it's been a combination of things, from hearing about Bitcoin during deployments years ago, like
Mhm.
2013, 2014, watching people uh, purchase gold bars during deployments and things like that, and just watching people practically put their money to work for them, and hearing things about how you there's like this secret way that you can purchase something that's not money, but you buy some of it, is super cheap, and then people can use that. You can give it to somebody and they'll exchange that for an item or whatever the case is. I was like,
Right.
that sounds cool, but I'm not getting into that. And then I heard it was like that's the cartel money and all that other stuff. But it was Bitcoin and all that. Then I want to say I was on a deployment like maybe 2014 or something like that. Something like that around that time, 2014, 2015, and was watching Bitcoin go crazy. People was heavy into the space. Like when when you're deployed, you got a bunch of extra money laying around, and you either burning it on Amazon, buying foolishness getting sent out to you, whoever ships APO, or people being smart with their money. And I was around some people that were smart with their money, and watched it work, and it was like, man, I don't know enough about it, but that's super dope. And then I just decided to learn more. One thing that took me deeper into the space was I was going to an engine run school in Florida, and had some time to myself. Typically, whenever I go TDY, I'm in the whatever the lodging is, and I'm in the room watching AFN, or it becomes HGTV, and I'm watching people rebuild their houses or whatever the case is. So, and me watching the houses get rebuilt, I ended up getting on Robinhood for whatever reason, I don't remember, and had a couple dollars. I'm like, all right, this is my budget. I'm not gonna go crazy with it, but just purchased a few things on there, and then I want to say they had the crypto portion back then, but I think it was like They might have had something. I think it was like Dogecoin or something like that. But or
Oh,
just
I
some.
remember. I,
Yeah, so it was
I
like,
miss with that because I was supposed to make my first 100,000 with them.
I'm sure, yeah, they be calling them disrespectful name coins, but they be calling them what they call them. But I mean, I done messed around and came up a couple times off that. Like, just this is my budget, this is what it's gonna be, and don't even think about it anymore. Or like dollar cost average into it. Like, all right, I'm gonna just do $20 here. If after all my bills and myself are paid, I got a couple extra dollars. Make sure the family taken care of. Then it's like, okay, I mean, $30 in there, $100 in there, whatever the case is, and over time, it just when people start posting it on social media or whatever the case is, some people tweeting
Crazy.
it or whatever the case is, it skyrocketed. I'm like, okay, well, let me go ahead and reclaim my initial investment, and then
Yeah.
it turned into a little extra money. So I'm
Wait,
like, what's up?
I had messed up with that only because when I first started investing, I invested into a lot of penny stocks because I was
Okay,
scared. I was scared to invest, so I didn't want to. I didn't want a Tesla stock
okay,
because Tesla at the time was like $1,000 for one.
yeah,
So not anymore. They've
right. It's volatile. It's volatile. They go up and down.
but I had bought a lot of those because it was so cheap. It was like way less than a penny. It was like a hundredth of
Okay,
a penny. So I had bought a lot, hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth. And literally I had it for years and I was just like, it's not doing anything. And the moment I sold it, that's when it
no,
started doing that run and I was sick.
I'm sure.
I was
I just wasn't even thinking about it. Like sometimes I'll put some money in there. I'm like, I don't even know. It's not even a penny. All right, it don't mean a thing. I'll try it
like,
out.
but that's when I realized I had to develop a strategy because in the beginning I was a real emotional investor. I was going up and down with the stocks. So I realized I had to have some kind of strategy in place so that I'm not just doing this based on how I feel. Because I used to check it every day like a hype.
Right? Heck yeah. Heck
But
yeah. We have people like that doing the same thing.
how does your background in financial technologies, how do you use that to help Black communities and overcome wealth disparities?
Okay. That's a pretty good question. I'll say that first, my background in financial technology is self-induced. I'll say that. A lot of YouTube University, a lot of podcasts, a lot of other people's knowledge, and then doing a little bit of research myself to either validate, trust but verify is what they say. But
Mhm.
they say like an ADHD brain is a scatterbrain or whatever the case is. But I treat it like I tell my sons, that's one way of thinking about it. Or another way to think about it is you are meant to be a warrior. You're meant to be a king, and you have to pay attention to everything that's around you. You have to know that your family is right here in the village. You have to know that the wolves are right here looking after the tribe, and you have to know that the deer and things are about to cross the river, and you have to be able to be paying attention to the hyenas or whatever the case is. You have to be able to pay attention to all of that stuff. And
Right.
another thing is it makes you interested in a lot of things. And your mind is going everywhere all the time. So I find myself deep diving into all kind of random stuff and being interested in financial literacy. Sometimes it'll be like, man, that's super dope. Then it's like, I wonder who made that. Like, I wonder, like, I'll see a little advertisement sign in the background or something like that. Let me see what that company's talking about. Like, who is that? And messed around and learned about what was it, like Neo? That was like
Oh yeah, I remember Neo.
yeah, like a Chinese car company or like electric car company.
Neo made me some money too.
Yeah, got into that when it was like $3 or something like that. It was like
Mhm.
I'll drop a
Did
couple
you see
dollars in
when it
there.
was a penny stock?
No, I didn't even know that.
That's when I caught Neo. I
Oh,
caught Neo when they were a penny stock.
that's what's up. Uh,
Mhm.
but that plus I'll say Gary Vaynerchuk for sure. Gary V. He heavy into VCon and cryptocurrency and blockchain and plus the like the NFT boom and things like that. And just blockchain technology in general. Uh, some of that stuff is just interesting to me. It's like, well, okay, you can sell a picture or whatever the case is, but that's just the current trend for the technology is selling pictures or whatever the case is. And then it's like, but the magic is the technology behind it. Is like, well, this is a transaction that you can't replicate. It's proof that this happened. You don't have, like 19 Keys says, like, you don't have to trust anybody with it. It's just, this is the information. This is what's in the contract. You meet, this is a if then approach. Like, if you do this, then this happens. So that became extremely interesting to me. And I just tried to, instead of making it extremely complex, my goal was to make it interesting, like bust it down to the most introductory of terms and principles, and then try to make that information available to people that I talk to. And uh, it just became something that resonated and something that I took interest in. So that's something that I've tried to do throughout. It seems like you're frozen again, but that's okay. I'll keep talking. Uh, in order to apply that information to some of my peers, I saw that I would. Um, I was lucky enough to be put in a position to welcome back. I was lucky enough to be put into a position to be an instructor at another base that I was at, and in me teaching a whole bunch of classes, a whole different types of classes, you go over the same material frequently, like every day. So I would go over the material, make sure I met all my requirements. And also, I'm the person doing it all the time. So I'm gonna entertain myself while I'm doing it. So we're playing, doing CPR classes, playing Staying Alive music. And then I'm switching it up to Baby Shark music and all of that. It's like, find whatever has the same BPMs or the same time frame. And I'm mixing songs, but you still gotta keep your chest compressions at the same time. Like, I'm just doing stuff to entertain myself. And oftentimes the conversations during breaks would go around money, or would harbor around money. So it'll be young airmen struggling. They don't want to go all the way to the shop at and pay an outrageous amount of money for a drink. So it's like, well, we got a snack bar here. You can get it for the low. Like, what's up? Why are you struggling to pay for a drink right now? Well, it's the second, and I just got the new Hellcat, or whatever the case is. I'm like, let's talk about your decision making. But like, I'm no financial advisor, but I would definitely try to give them as much game as I could, and maybe direct them to other people. So that, again, was another extremely long way to answer your question.
Yes. What's the biggest challenge that you faced as an entrepreneur, and how do you overcome it?
Uh, Lack of information. I'll say that, because I have all kind of ideas. A recent mentor of mine, had me do some type of test that tells you the type of entrepreneur you are, and I am like a creator entrepreneur, but I need to have a solid team to help me follow through and like complete the ideas that I come up with. So I can come up with all kind of ideas, or if somebody tells me something, the first thing that I'm saying is, "Oh, and you could do it like this, and how about that too? That would be super dope." But then I might not know how to do those things. So it's like, yeah, that's cool, but all right, do I want to spend the time to research it and try and figure it out, or we'll just write it down or put it in a voice note or something like that and move on to the next thing? But like, ideas for days. So just lack of information on how to find those things,
Mhm.
or that in combination with the follow up, or the execution of those things. But being intentional and recognizing that vulnerability, it also helps me uh, find ways to capitalize off it as well. Like, okay, you got an idea, let's sit on it for a little bit, write it down, do the voice note, put it in a calendar reminder later on, and then when I come back to it and I get that reminder, let me see what that was. Oh yeah, that's still super dope, and I don't know anybody with it. Yeah, let's lean in.
Okay. What's one thing that you wish people knew before getting into entrepreneurship?
How to manage their taxes, and I mean, how to manage their taxes. And I mean, again, I'm no financial advisor, but I like a lot of them. I follow a lot of them. Um, and from what I've seen other successful people do, is from the Grant Cardones to the Him 500s to the Robert Crafts, to so many people, just they know what to do with their money to make their money work for them. Uh, and it's incredibly impressive. But like, even myself, like, and some of my entrepreneurial endeavors, it's like, we're talking about business right now. And then say we're eating dinner or something like that at a place, still talking about this, and we're discussing deals and things like that, not knowing that those could be tax write-offs later on. Like this is a business dinner. Do you get what I'm saying? Like simple things like, again, don't take your tax advice from me, please. But just an idea. Like there's so many aspects from there are just so many. I would recommend finding a resource that resonates with you and then holler at your financial advisor. But there's so many places and so many ways that us as new entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, or seasoned entrepreneurs uh, could benefit from knowing what to do with their money and the taxes, the tax benefits for sure.
Okay. So I have a section, the importance on financial literacy.
The Section 8 section. Like,
Why would you say financial literacy is crucial, especially for Black and marginalized communities?
uh, okay, you about to get me canceled on episode 1 right now. But
Oh,
okay, no, I'm playing. I will say that information that's been presented to me is that uh, systematically there have been strategic efforts put in place to reduce certain jobs. Um, and uh, regardless of who is filling those jobs, uh, a lot of those jobs are going to be going away. So if we don't have the right information, if we don't have the right resources, if we don't know the right questions to ask, excuse me, if we don't know how to make our money work for us when those things happen, excuse me, then we're put in a position to need to try and figure out how to get money. And uh, some other people in the past have said, when their ribs is touching, don't make me wait. Let's shout out to DMX on that one, but you don't want to put people in a position to have to get money. So instead of operating out of necessity, financial literacy and financial information can help us operate from an abundance mindset as opposed to a poverty mindset or a hungry mindset, if that makes sense. I see that we keep fading in and out, so I'm gonna just keep talking. And it is what it is. This is a test to see how long you can keep the conversation going, and that's quite all right. Um, I believe that financial literacy is such an important aspect for all of us, any race, any ethnicity, any community, marginalized or otherwise. Unfortunately, even though some of this stuff is taught in schools, so much of it is not taught in schools. So that's where I find an ability to try and teach people the introduction of financial literacy. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but my goal is to try and attempt to put people in situations to learn as much as they can about the vocabulary, specific principles and terms, things of that nature, in order to understand whatever someone's talking about when they have those conversations. So to have that information resonate with them, from stocks to bonds, investments, cryptocurrency, real estate, taxes, like all kinds of aspects of financial literacy. Um, just the introduction, because there are so many financial masterminds and people who will you pay to pay attention and things of that nature. But if you don't know what you're paying attention to, then unfortunately you won't be able to get that information. I clicked out, but it seemed like you asked me for my number, so I'm going to still keep it going. Whoops. Shout out to keyboarding class. Brother can type and keep the conversation going. Got to get the keys going. Either way, I'm not Alicia, but we can still stroke them keys, play or pause or whatever the case is. But I believe we're having some more technical difficulties, and that's quite all right. But it is an extreme honor to be on this platform, and I'm greatly appreciative of you deciding to share your platform with me. I think I need to find my phone if you're about to hit it up, but that's quite all right. Uh, we'll keep it going. The good news is this is an incredible opportunity, and financial literacy, again, is something that I'm incredibly passionate about, just because I've learned so much through trial and error, from watching my mistakes, from experiencing my mistakes to watching other people go through their mistakes, taking those lessons learned and trying to apply them. Uh, I've heard Charlemagne the God say something along the lines of, smart people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. He says a whole bunch of outlandish other things, but every now and then he'll drop a little medicine in the candy. Uh, no rose, because I know it. Not any. She ain't even know it, but never mind. Disregard that last joke. It seemed like we're still having these technical difficulties, but that's maybe. Oh, we still on there? Oh, I see you back. Yes. I
You
was
know,
brother
I
was
do.
running out of steam.
I'm out here in Florida, so I don't
Oh,
know
that's right.
the
How have you been faring with the weather?
I have been fine. I do want to. My hometown, they are devastated right now. They had
Okay.
like 7 tornadoes in that area. I think Florida yesterday had about 100 tornadoes
Uh,
warnings, 100 tornado warnings, and at least 41 that actually was going at simultaneously. So
That's
just
crazy.
prayers for them, prayers for St.
Sure.
Lucie County, prayers for Broward County, because they are going through it right now.
For
So I don't
sure.
know if we still have some wind gusts going on with the power lines, but
Mm.
we're back.
Welcome back. Welcome
Yeah.
back for sure. I was running out of steam. I was trying to just make some stuff up while I was talking, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I'm
Yes,
welcome.
on my end, you had like went out on my end. So I was like, what's
For real.
going on?
I kept trying to glance up at the time, and it's still on. So that's what matters. It don't matter. The show
All
must
right.
go.
Well, thank you for that. And thank you for answering that. I probably was gone for majority of your answer,
Yep,
but
that's okay. It was okay.
could you break down a few practical steps that people can take to kind of start their journey to more financial stability? I know you said you already disclaimed you're not a financial
Yep.
advisor. So things that you did in your business
Okay.
for you personally.
Thank you very much for, and just in case we decide to clip this up, once again, I'm still not a financial advisor, but there are so many ways that we can go about approaching it. Uh, you can choose to or not to take your advice from me, but these are just some ideas. But I think one of the first things we could do is recognize what our current spending is. If you don't know what your current budget is, it's going to be difficult to enter another financial endeavor. So know your numbers. What's the mathematics or whatever you want to call it? But you'd be surprised how many, if you have the ability, how many subscriptions you have, how many of those Android and Apple Play Store apps that you have going on that are nickel and diming you frequently, or how often you need to go to the grocery store and you buying extra snacks when you could make your own snacks, or whatever the case is. Knowing your numbers, and then having a specific target. One thing they tell us is aim small, miss small. And I tell my son something similar to that. Like, it's easy to be distracted and get knocked off your pivot if you don't have a goal in mind. Like, it's easy to be playing outside and hanging out with the homies and all that and trying to sneak out and stay out late. But if you have the goal of, okay, I'm trying to make it to this specific university, or I'm trying to get into this specific career field, or I'm trying to start this specific business, or whatever the case is, study for this specific test, and you know that's happening, it's a lot easier to be like, nah, I see it's somebody's 21 birthday and y'all trying to do the two 40 ounces taped to your hands and all of that. But that's dope and that's funny, but I gotta get ready for this test because it's about to be crazy, and I still gotta study a little bit more. I got these flashcards or whatever the case is. So you have a goal in mind, a specific goal in mind, um, with your business, with your finances, or whatever the case is. Aim small, miss small with that. Know what your numbers are, and ask for help. I know so many of us are extremely prideful, or I'll figure it out myself, or I'm a YouTube university. But
Hmm.
there's so many people who are genuinely passionate about helping other people out. So if you know what you're trying to accomplish, it won't be a waste of somebody's time when you ask them very specific things like, yo, I got this set up. I heard there's something about the Small Business Association or something like that. I tried to Google it, but it's like so many of them. I don't know which one to try. That's a way more easy question to answer than what do you think I should do for a business? Like, just be intentional. Know what your budget is. Know what your goals are. Know the right questions to ask and ask for help.
I really like that. And I definitely agree with the budgeting. I know it seems cliche, but you definitely got to start with budgeting, knowing what you're spending, how
Sure.
much you have to spend. And I know a lot of people personally, they don't even like to look at the finance aspect of it. Like when
Right.
it comes to certain stuff, they're just like, I'd rather not know, I'd rather not see it. But you got to know so that you can write them down and start getting to it to make things better for yourself.
For sure.
But
It's uncomfortable too sometimes.
it is uncomfortable, especially if it's like, I have this income, but I have this debt. And it's like
Mhm.
it's just looming like an umbrella. But you
Ella,
definitely
Ella, A, and it's not going away. Right. That's
right,
another reason.
right. But
But
it's
it's
not gonna
cool.
go away if you run from it and you hide from it. You gotta face it head on and you gotta get it done.
For sure.
But this section is gonna be about cryptocurrency and blockchain education.
Okay.
So you have shown a passion for cryptocurrencies and blockchain. How do you explain these complex topics to people who are completely new to the space?
I try to break it down as simple as possible. Um,
Mhm.
and while I may be familiar with some extremely complex aspects of the space, if I can't explain it to uh, elementary schooler, then I probably don't know enough about it. So I try to um, liken it to money. If you're trying to buy a piece of gum or you're trying to buy a piece of candy in California or in Florida, it's going to be different in California, especially right now, than it's going to be in Florida. If you're trying to buy some toilet paper or a bottle of water in California, it's going to still be expensive in California. But in Florida right now, the the supply and demand, and it's just going to be outrageously expensive. Yet you can still buy that same piece of gum and that same roll of toilet paper in Barbados, or you can buy that same piece of gum or toilet paper in Trinidad or whatever the case is, or Jamaica, or whatever the clock is in the background. It's like I'm just playing. Uh, you can buy the gum and toilet paper. You can buy that gum and toilet paper anywhere, but in some places you need a different type of money to do that. It's the
Right.
same thing you're trying to buy, but you need a different type of money. Well, there's some aspects of money that it doesn't matter. You don't have to hold on to it. You can move this money this way and get the product or whatever the case is. That's one way to think about it. Another way that would be an aspect of the cryptocurrency approach, and then to think that there are so many different versions of money as well. But that's me getting too deep into it. Just the shallow, the surface level. That's an easy way to explain it. And then if they have further questions, I'll try and make it easier for them or recommend someone else who might know more about it. And then for the blockchain aspect of it, I try to anchor heavier onto the smart contract approach with
Mhm.
blockchains, just because, uh, like again, 19 Keys was saying, you don't really have to trust people because, like you were saying, we don't like dealing with the budgets, we don't like addressing the debts and things of that nature. So uh, in some aspects of the smart contracts of blockchain, you don't even have to worry about that. It's an if then approach. So if we transact money, then this is what happens. If I purchase this amount, if I give you this amount of money for this house, then I get the deed for the house. Like, it's just simple as that for the blockchains. But then that's one block. And then there are several blocks of information that are chained together. And those transactions are verified, or like it's proven. So it's like that information in that block is proven, and a whole bunch of other people can verify it. So if you're trying to, like with AI right now, how you can do all kind of fake stuff. Like when we froze the first time, I thought you was AI me or whatever. I'm like, you grocery shopping on me. Like, there's a way to verify whether that happened or not. You get what I'm saying? Like, so it's just some aspects of that, and it goes so deeper. But I'm trying to use blockchain for an aspect of some of my businesses as well. And the goal is to make it extremely digestible and easy to understand.
Okay.
Hopefully that helps out.
Yes, it does. What role do you believe cryptocurrency and blockchain can play in building wealth for young people, especially, minority service members or just in general?
Uh, well, a role that I believe cryptocurrency can play in anyone, or in us specifically in the young service members, is the fact that think about it like I try to think about it like this: the country or your branch of service has elected to, excuse me, invest 4 years, 2 years, 6 years into your career. They expect you to accomplish training and live in places where they tell you to live, all for these 6 years or 4 years or 2 years or whatever contract you're signing up for. Um, Young people who have a little bit of extra time, they already know they signed a 4 year contract or 6 year contract or whatever the case is. They can be on all the forums and all that in the Twitter X rooms and all this other stuff and catch some of these things. Like, okay, we got whatever coin is about to go crazy. Everybody get it while it's hot. Like you were talking about with Neo, how you got Neo when it was a penny stock. People have so many chat rooms and things like that, and forums, or somebody's talking about, okay, get into Neo, and it could be Jake Paul or somebody like an influencer talking about it. Like, I'm about to just cop this just because, and it could be just a throwaway comment. And like, okay, I got a couple extra dollars. I'll throw $5 in there, $20 in there, and not even think about it. Messed around, forgot my phone or lost my phone or whatever, found it later on. Oh, I still got this. And it went up crazy.
Yeah.
Man, it's in my wallet or whatever the case is. And this was, if I just hold on to this for this enlistment, if I don't even think about it, hold on to it for this enlistment, because the government is invested in me 4 years, 6 years. I can invest in myself that same amount of time. Just buy and hold on to it. Buy and hold is another strategy, but hold on to that. And that cryptocurrency, like you were saying, specific investments over time tend to grow, as
Yes.
long as you're holding for a long time. So just buy and hold, or they call it diamond hands or whatever the case is. Buy and hold on to that. And that would be an easy approach to thinking about making your cryptocurrency work for you. Please do your research, do your own research on these things. Read white papers or whatever the case is. That's a keyword for you to look up on your own. But
Mhm.
um, that's one aspect. Or you're speaking about the blockchain aspect of it. A lot of us as service members, we have access to uh, the VA home loan approach to purchasing homes. Eventually, home loans, deeds, and things of that nature, more than likely are going to be put on the blockchain, just because of their ability to be verified, and you can validate specific documents and things of that nature. This house was built in on October 10th, 2024, or this house was built, for y'all watching this later on, this house was built November 16th, 2038, or whatever the case is. And now you get to okay, this is what the house was built. I'm going to buy it with my specific blockchain. And I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to go through middlemen. I don't have to go through specific banks and specific realtors and specific agencies. And this is what it is. This is the transaction. I would like to believe that it's probably going to be a little bit slower, but I would like to believe that our foundation, our fundamentals, and our abilities and capabilities to utilize this technology will also grow with the space, and marriage licenses, passports, uh, deeds, and things of that nature is all would be put on a blockchain. So those are one way. Those are some brief ways that cryptocurrency and blockchain might be beneficial to us. Another way, since you asked me, and I'm still running my mouth, bumping my gums, but people can purchase those event spaces, like, or events in general. Some people purchase events with
Mhm.
blockchain technology and using NFT. When we were talking about like cryptocurrency and blockchain tied together, you can use that NFT to purchase access to an event. And because your ticket or your NFT or whatever the case is verified, it's you can't fake it. It's not a scalp ticket or whatever the case is. So you use your blockchain technology ticket to get access to this event and to get access to another event. Or you can sell it, because this is not a scalp ticket. This is a legitimate thing.
Yeah.
Y'all waited till the last minute. I got to bump the price up on you. Yesterday's price is
It's
not today's
today's
price.
price. Okay.
But here's another way for you to get a couple dollars. You're welcome.
Okay. I like that. I'm really intrigued by your golden ratio playing cards project.
Okay, thank you.
Can you explain what that is and how it ties into financial education?
Yes, I can. Actually, I was just kind of talking about it, to be honest with you, one aspect of it. But my goal with the golden ratio playing cards is to uh, effortlessly immerse the culture in financial literacy. Like I'm just trying to approach the introduction of financial literacy while doing things that we're already doing. Like some people play cards, some people, the young service members, aren't put in position to have to hurry up and wait. Uh,
Right.
like on a deployment or on a PAX terminal, or getting ready to get on a plane, on a bus ride, on a convoy, in a cafeteria. You got to stay late. Somebody lost a rag or somebody lost a tool or something like that, but you know you're not about to go find it, or y'all got to work 12s or whatever the case is, or on a ship or whatever the case is. We have to hurry up and wait. And most of the time, somebody got a deck of cards. Y'all either playing spades, y'all playing war, y'all playing goldfish, whatever you're playing. My goal is to make people learn a couple things while they're doing that. So seem like you went away, but that's okay. So the goal is to ensure that we're just effortlessly learning a couple things. So like I have specific cards that have terms on them, that have principles on the cards, and you still can play the cards, but you also learning while you do it. So when somebody went Boston on you, they had to put the wheels on them, and we got all the books playing spades. Uh,
Mhm.
that last set or that last book or whatever the case is, they throw the joker out, or they throw the compound interest out on you, or they learn it. What you know about the S&P 500, or two little kids talking about, can you tell me what the debt to income ratio is? Do you have any debt to income ratios, or whatever the case is? Just the type of conversation. I feel like if I can just plant seeds to help put information to ask the right conversation, or the information for the conversation, if I can just help people understand just a little bit about the information when they are speaking to financial advisors, when they are watching Ian Dunlap or Earn Your Leisure, or any 19 Keys, or uh, Wall Street Trapper, or Dave Ramsey, or whoever, whenever they're learning this information, they would have some aspect of, okay, I saw that somewhere. I don't know how I know it, but I remember hearing about, like, golden ratio. I remember hearing about some type of investment strategy or cryptocurrency or something like that. What can you tell me a little bit more about the VA home loan? It just goes a lot. It just helps to put people in a better position. So we're still gonna be playing cards regardless. But if we can learn something while we're doing it, that's the goal. And with
Oh,
those cards, I have like lesson plans that go along with them. Some of the cards are uh, blockchain technology slashed in NFT. That if you purchase that one, then you get access to specific events, and you can either use your blockchain verified NFT deck to gain access to the event, or you can sell that to somebody else who wants to gain access to the event.
wow.
Continue to learn about it. And with the lesson plans, the goal is to not just serve service members, but help community centers, orphanages, women's shelters, schools, just anybody who needs the information. Because I mean, we all need the information. Yes, I love Black people. I love a lot of people, but we all need the information. You get what I'm saying? So if I had to come up with a target audience, is young Black service members. I got my avatar as a dude named Sharif Williams that I made up. He a young service member out overseas. That's the dude I'm frequently talking to. He's not real, but that's the guy I'm talking to.
Yes.
So I just try to help him out.
And we had Chevy Mack tune in. She said hello. She is a people
Hello.
development consultant.
Hello, Ms. Mack. Good morning.
And so I also see you have a shirt on. It looks like it say golden
Oh,
ratio.
who, me? This whole thing? Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
you got a plug for that or
yeah, something slight. I'm trying to learn about advertising and market product placement and things of that nature, for
okay.
sure. Yeah, I have some merchandise and all of that, but this it's not about me right now. Yes, we're talking about we're talking about financial. Thank you very much for recognizing that. But yes.
Tell us about Prime Foresight Solutions. What services do you offer and how do you help businesses and or individuals improve their financial literacy?
Okay. Prime Foresight Solutions was an idea that I cooked up years ago. Years ago, I was trying to. Actually, I was in Hawaii with my son. He he got diagnosed with scoliosis, and we had to take him to Tripler Army Medical Center in Hawaii. He was one of, at the time, one of four, or there had only been four other military dependents who under had received a treatment called vertebral body tethering, or VBT, and
Mhm.
he had to get basically spinal surgery. And instead of getting the titanium rods put to straighten out his spine, he basically got like braces, like how you can get braces on your teeth. But he got some titanium hardware put on each of his vertebrae, or like 7 or 8 of his vertebrae, and then a synthetic cable to kind of like tighten it. So whenever he grows, it can straighten out his spine a little bit.
Wow.
And he and I went out there. We spent like a month and some change out in Hawaii while he was me trying to nurse him to health, and he did a fantastic job. He's good right now. Shout out to him. Shout out to all three of the young men. But you know who you are. Um, Respect to him. But during that time when he was like relaxing, if I didn't have anything to do to help him out, it's like, well, this is the most free time I've had ever, and I'm just naturally trying to help people out. So it was like, well, I'll try and do this. I'll try and come up with a business, and that's what it was. It was Prime Foresight Solutions was born. I had a couple of names. This is a super long name. It is what it is. But at Prime Foresight Solutions, we offer, or I offer, podcasting with the Long Money Learning Podcast, the Golden Ratio playing cards, blogs, access to merchandise, and just the introduction to financial literacy. Just approaching it from every way possible, because through my personal experiences, through experiences from other people, uh, money is not necessarily the root of all evil. They say that, but it's been a determining factor for so many heavy decisions that people have to make, from us service members deciding on whether they're going to extend or not. It's like, I'm coming up on my 4 years or my 6 years. I don't know if I don't know enough. I don't have enough money to do what I want to do, so I'm gonna just go ahead and extend. Or we're about to have a baby, or whatever the case is, so I'm gonna just go ahead and extend. So it just depends. I would love for people to have access to the information, and my goal is to have Prime Foresight Solutions provide that information for the conversation as many ways as I can. And if I can help a couple people, then that's fantastic. And I like doing it anyway, so I'm gonna just keep doing it, like whether people tap in or not. I enjoy it, to be honest with you.
For you. Amen to that. You have to absolutely do what you're passionate about in life. I'm a firm believer in that. Chevy Max says, great information. And yes, we spend so much time waiting to get to our destination. So why not get educated at the same time?
For sure. And have fun while you're doing it. Uno or whatever. You can play whatever play. And that's the goal. Just enjoy it and learn. So thank you very much, Chevy Mac. I appreciate that.
Where do you see yourself and your business in the next 5 to 10 years?
In the next 5 to 10 years, okay. In the next 5 years, I like within this, I'll say 14 months from now, very specifically, 14 months from now, I will have entered into full-time entrepreneur space. And my goal is to have launched 8 decks by then. Initially, I would like to have marketed and launched 4 decks per fiscal quarter, but I'm probably going to stretch that out a little bit to 4 decks biannually, or every 6 months. And then by that time, in that 5 years time frame, excuse me, I would like to have successfully launched multiple decks, sold out, and I would like to have spoken at multiple community centers and had partnerships with using those blockchain technology events, partnered with several professional development and financial development events, and established an entirely self-sufficient community who has the ability to impart wisdom and provide resources for all of us. To be honest with you, like, I'm very intentional about marketing to the over 450 installations in the United States, and the over 750 installations internationally. Like, I'm very much aware that we are everywhere, and we need this information regardless of where we are. So my goal is to have visited as many of these installations as possible, and taken my family with me, because I've gone to so many places that are super dope, but I'm the only one experiencing it out the family, and I'm sending pictures or like, man, it would be dope if y'all was here or whatever the case is. So successfully launching the podcast and affiliate links galore and helping out the community as much as possible, launching multiple decks, speaking in multiple event spaces, community centers, and making a significant impact in the both of the orphanages that I'm focusing on. With each of the sales of every transaction for the Golden Ratio playing cards, a percentage goes to a Forgotten Child, which is an organization where the dependents of service members, like if both of your parents died and they were in the military, sometimes those kids have it pretty rough. So if I can do anything to try and help them out, that's the goal. And then it's another one in Baltimore, Maryland, or in Maryland in general. So a children's home in Maryland, a percentage goes to the Forgotten Child in a children's home in Maryland because I was born there. And I have significant impact from orphans. I'll say that my relationship situation is complicated. However, if my wife or soon to be, we'll just leave it at my son's mother was an orphan, and she was able to be taken care of in a fantastic family. And had that not happened, I wouldn't have my sons. And like I keep telling my sons, there are few men in the world who want your success more than they want theirs. And I tell them, your goal is to be better than me, regardless. That's everything I can do is to make you better than me, and I'm not that bad. So had she not been adopted and taken care of, I wouldn't have my sons. And again, I'm not about to be out here crying on the internet, but pretty all right. I like my sons a whole lot. I'll say that.
Yes, I
Love
love that.
it.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Um,
Appreciate it.
you said that you are creating a podcast. What
Yes.
topics do you plan to cover, and how do you hope to impact your audience?
Okay. Thank you. Yes, I am. Excuse me. The Long Money Learning Podcast. Is the goal is again information for the conversation. So me and Sharif Williams, we are maintainers in the Air Force. So the goal is if I'm gonna be talking to Sharif, we are in the back of a maintenance truck. Like some wild stuff gets said in the back of the maintenance truck, or in the shop, or whatever the case is, on the ship or whatever. But also there's always gems every now and then. Somebody else is learning something. And okay, did you hear about blockchain, or did you hear about Bitcoin? And then people like, okay, I'm gonna set up my Robinhood. All right, did you get these? Yeah, I'm gonna get these. Oh, I got these. You don't got these. So just like providing resources, providing foolishness. I like money. I like education. I like providing resources, and I have an outrageous sense of humor. To me, I entertain myself a whole lot. So I'm going to just be speaking to other service members, asking them about their lessons they've learned, mentorship opportunities that they've received, resources that they felt have helped them out tremendously, some wins and losses, some funny moments. And I might be flaming people just because, like, I can be a fantastic mentor, but I play around entirely too much. So it's like, I'm going to listen to you. I'm probably going to make fun of you a little bit, but they can also put you in the right direction to speak to somebody. But that's just how I process trauma. Is you play too much and too soon. That's frequently things that I hear. But okay, it is what it is. You still can get this information and the smoke. But I'm going to just be playing around and providing resources.
Okay. Is there a final message or key takeaway that you want to leave with our audience today, and any upcoming projects or initiatives that you would like us to keep an eye out for?
Okay. Yes, I will say that if at all possible, find someone who helps the information resonate with you. Like I'm talking about financial literacy, but I'm frequently not talking about financial literacy too. Like I like it, but I also like anime. I also like hip hop music. I also like R&B. I like video soul, all kind of other stuff. It used to be for people that don't know, music videos used to be a thing. And like, so if I can help anybody, it would be find a way that the information resonates with you. Because as far as financial literacy concerned, the information is the information. It's going to be around. But just like you could have a history teacher that's super boring and telling you look at page 96 in chapter 3, read all of that, and then take notes, and then I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Or you can have the history teacher that's all theatrical and like the Gettysburg Address was wild. You should have seen such, and they had the Buffalo Soldiers out there that was going crazy. Like, you can have history teachers talking about the same thing, but just different approaches to it.
Right.
It's 1 o'clock.
I like talking about this stuff. Fun. I like making it resonate to me. So if I'm not your cup of tea, that's fine. Find somebody that resonates with you. Because at the end of the day, we all need to know what we're doing with our money. And hopefully we can find a way to make it work for us. If you can do anything, put every dollar that you have to work for you. The country has done it to several people in the past. The military does it to us. They put us all to work. So you put your money to work for you. And then, yes, eventually very soon, I'll be launching the golden ratio playing cards. The first version is going to be the stock market edition, but I'll talk about it on the Long Money Learning podcast soon enough. And then just stay tuned to both of those. You can subscribe to them all. I might not have nothing posted just yet, but you don't even need to turn on the bells or notifications. Just when you get to it, you'll get to it, and just know it'll be some heat.
Okay, well, I am excited about that. And we are going to close today's interview. I definitely want to thank you for coming on the platform today, Jamaal. And I also want to thank Chevy Matt for tuning in and saying a few comments. But yes, and thank you to the audience who tuned in today or who's going to catch it in the rerun. Thank you all. Like, share, subscribe, and all of that. And thank you again, Jamaal, for coming. I loved having you today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this opportunity.
Good, especially when we had some technical
glitches. Brother was struggling, but we got it though. Hey, let's work together. That's what that was.
Yes. All right.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. You have a fantastic rest of your day.
You as well.
Thank you.